Alright, I'm about to tell you things I've never said before about this little house of mine. This is not going to be a weekly bit, this is the promised kitchen video, and there's so much to tell you because if you've been with me for a long time, then you remember this used to be the end of our kitchen. There was a wall here, and that's why that floor is subflooring that doesn't have any floor in it. I never actually explained that or why or what's happening. That's what we're gonna do today. So those of you who've been with me for more than 2 years know that our teeny tiny house used to be a whole lot teeny tinier. Here is the doorway into the kitchen and Ryan's weird exercise equipment hanging from it. When we lived in our dining room, which we did right here for a long time, our whole bed took up that space. From when Scarlett was 8 months old until I was pregnant with Luca and delivering Luca, there was a bed here and Ryan and I lived in it right up until I delivered. At the same time as that, which I never mentioned in the videos, our house was being remodeled and the entire back wall of our house, which was zoop zoop zoop, boink, right here, was being ripped off. The only closet we had was this pole. We hung things on it and like parted the ways to come through into the kitchen. And then we had our teeny tiny house have the back wall of it ripped off in the winter time. We're just real adventurous in this house. Why did we choose to rip off the whole back wall of our house at the same time that I was caring for my mother and growing a human in me, which makes me extremely sick? My body does not handle pregnancy well. Because we had to. When we were looking for housing options for my mom, we found out that it was about to get a whole lot more expensive for anybody who wanted to do remodeling in our neighborhood. There was some permit and coding changes that were going to be happening, and Ryan and I knew that if we were going to stay in this house for even a couple more years while our family was growing, we wanted to expand it on. We didn't yet have enough money saved for what we wanted to do the house. We thought we had plenty of time, so we were going to be saving more and do some more exciting things with it. But then when we heard about the coding changes and we were going through all this stuff with my mom, and I was pregnant and I was sick and it was also stressful, we learned that we had to act fast with the money that we had, otherwise we weren't going to be able to afford any remodel at all. So we took our entire budget and we added on all this space. You can see we got a little dining table in there. That used to be my craft table that was in the closet, so it's kind of banged up, but we couldn't use our oval dining table anymore because we needed to maximize the room. I thought it was just going to make this kitchen not feel so closet-like. I used to be able to touch both walls at the same time. That's how small this space is. From the window to the wall. I hated this room. We told our contractor to just build out as much space as possible with our budget and just give us walls and a roof. Don't worry about the floors, don't worry about the paint or anything else. And he looked at us like we were crazy and said that people can't live like that. And we laughed in his face and said, ha 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 ha, have you not seen how we've lived for the past 2 years? We could do anything. We could go on the show Fixer Upper and Joanna Gaines could show us a mud puddle with a mailbox and tell us that it has potential and we'd be like, sold, let's go for it. We can handle anything. So now after 2 years, you are finally up to date on this kitchen. Oh, by the way, sneak peek on Luca's birthday. We had his birthday last week, and those are 2 of the decorations I left up. I took everything else down because I want you to watch the video. He is officially 2. It took almost another year, but we saved up, and now we have the money to do a very inexpensive remodel on this room. In our modest budget, we cannot get new appliances. So wish we could, because look at this thing. Here, you can stop looking at me and let's look at the kitchen together now. This is real talk here because look, it's a crap kitchen. It should have crap in it. Didn't do my dishes for you. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this was the main existence of my kitchen before. Absolutely no counter space. That's why this freezer is out here. We wanted to put it inside this pantry area over here, which used to be like the back end of the house and wasn't a pantry at all. It just had a washer and dryer in it. But we needed extra counter space, so it stayed out there. This beast is horrible, it cooks horrible, and it's gonna have to stay. We just don't have the budget to replace it. This is completely wasted space, as is, so here's the doors down here. All of this, there's no real access to it. It is just a big empty hole. And when you live in a tiny house, you can't deal with wasted space like that. One of the things that drives me nuts about this space is that it never ever feels clean. The people that had it before us painted these cupboards so many times. They are so thick with paint in different colors. I actually don't mind that color, but there's so much on it that these spots just never comes off. That is a spot where several layers of the paint have worn away. There's nothing I can do about it, and I didn't want to add just another coat to the crappy cabinet. More horrible caked on paint here that is chipped away in certain spots, making it always look dirty. And also, as you can imagine, behind this cupboard, this space is useful, but this space back here, once again, is just pretty much wasted. We have some things stored that we can access once a year, but when you have a teeny tiny kitchen that is just this big, you really should make every space count. I don't know what the designers of this place were thinking. I'm gonna take you to see the wizard behind the curtain. Just be forewarned, complete trash zone. Complete. Prepare yourself, grab your seats, guys, hold tight. Zoom! Here we go, I wasn't kidding. So this indent that we have here is where we were going to put that freezer. And then I was going to put custom shelving above it so we could store things like paper towels and cleaners and Ryan's tools. I now have a new idea for this space that won't allow the freezer to be there anymore. It's actually going to include something that has to do with the kitchen. I'm not going to tell you because I want to see if any of you come up with the same idea that I have. Secondly, this space, I never properly talked about it. It's a palette that has been converted into a coffee bar, and normally, once again, real life here, I didn't prep this or stage it for you. I would have like lovely things in here. Like this was my mother's, and I'm gonna figure out how to have it in the new kitchen. And so is this. It's a Norwegian plaque that says, "Eat, drink, and be merry," I think. These Bailey's teacups were my grandmother's, and those are my glasses. Anyways, I didn't really prepare this space. When I have the kitchen really done, I'll give you a good tour of all these little meaningful bits to me, because even those little Coke bottles up there have a story behind them. And look, I have a troll. She migrated to my crappy kitchen all the way from Norway. Once the house edition was complete, I claimed one space in this house for myself. If you don't know, Ryan bought this house before we ever met, and so he like painted the walls and chose the browns and all this stuff, and I've never really redone anything. I just put pictures on the walls and some throw pillows on some things. So this, like 6-ish years into marriage, was my first claiming of a space. And I made a coffee bar a la Pinterest. It would look much cuter if I had staged it properly for you. There are 4 little hooks here. Picture 4 little red cups set against the gray-y, greeny color. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. And this thing isn't supposed to go here. I had copper measuring cups hanging from there. You can picture it, and someday you will see it because I'll figure out a new place in the new kitchen for it to go. I got this palette off of Etsy and she shipped it to me. She did an excellent job, and she even altered it a little bit from her original design for me. Came out perfect, came so fast. I love it. If you want to know the Etsy shop, I will link it below. And I actually worked with a lady on Etsy for my coffee bar as well. I told her what I wanted, I told her the height that I needed, and she went on a hunt looking for the perfect piece of furniture for me. She sent me pictures of things that she found on Craigslist. Once I chose it, she asked which colors I wanted it, and she painted it and stained it and reattached the hardware for me. I think she even had to find some new hardware for me because a couple pieces were missing. She did an amazing job too, so I will link her below as well. Both very affordable for custom pieces of furniture. But the reason this doesn't look all prim and proper and perfect for you, and I never did a reveal on this, which I did intend to do, is because the whole thing's gonna be uprooted and turned around again, because now we have money saved to finally put in actual floors here. And after the remodel's done, you will finally see what's behind this door. Have you noticed you've never really seen what's behind this door? There have been spots in this house that don't make sense. Oh my gosh, you guys, my arm's so tired. Can we do this? Can you just rest here while I finish talking to you? Okay, it's a lot to tell you when I haven't talked to you about this stuff in 2.5+ years. That's crazy. Life goes by so fast. We finally have a bit of a budget to make this into a room that's much more functional, and hopefully I'll really like being in it. Hopefully it'll feel clean, but I want to make it into a farmhouse kitchen. You guys know how I love the idea of homesteading and my kids really understanding how to appreciate what comes from the land, and since our garden is off of the kitchen, I really want the outside space and the inside space to kind of meet in a happy union, like homesteader feng shui. Now this is where you guys come in. You've seen the space. We'll push you back so you get the layout. There's all the walls, you can see them all. What would you do with this space? We're going to tear out the cabinets, the countertops, everything, and reconfigure it. Obviously, we can't go too crazy and like put the sink over on this side because that would mean adding all new plumbing and everything in. It needs to stay generally in that same space, but I want to move the stove, I want to move the sink, I want things to make more sense, and I don't want 1 inch of this space to be wasted. We're about to break ground on this place and start tearing stuff out, but we haven't made the final decisions yet. I want to hear what you guys would do. You might shape my kitchen. Along with that, I love talking remodel and like house dream plans. So I want to know, if you had 1 room in your house that you could totally remodel, what would you do and what would be on your wish list? What's the first thing that you would want to have? What color would you paint it? Just tell me everything. The easiest place to tell me that kind of stuff is either in the comment section here or on Facebook if you want to send me links and pictures, because we can have an easier discussion there since there's no character limit. We're being invaded. Hi. Hi, Icky Poo.
Hi.
I love you.
I love you, Mama.
Mwah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Waka.
Luca.
Hey, Waka.
What's your sister's name?
Kate.
Scarlett. What's mommy's name?
Me.
Marie. What's daddy's name?
Hey.
Ryan, you're a smarty pants. What's Nini's name?
What do you mean?
He's asking his sister. Go ahead, sister. He's phoning a friend.
Nancy.
Yeah. What's Nini's name?
Nancy.
Nancy, that's right. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. So hooray for no more subfloors, and hooray for no more open backs of counters, and for linoleum peeling up, and hooray for no more caked on paint, and hopefully tons and tons of storage space instead of this horrible design
I
that
want it set.
is ridiculous. On your mark, get set. Go. I got distracted by cute. I don't know what I was saying, but I think that covers it. I'm hoping after this space is done, I will have a kitchen that I can do some cooking vlogs in and just some silly stuff, because I'm ridiculous when I cook, and sometimes I want to share that with you guys. As for the weekly bit, I will have one for you next week, and because that belongs to you as much as it does me, I think we need to make some changes to it together, and it's going to be your decision, so just stay tuned for that. Maybe I'll talk about it in next week's weekly bit. If you made it all the way to this part, I'm just gonna say I'm stinking surprised. I feel like I rambled on. It was a lot of stuff I wanted to tell you for a long time, so it feels good to have it off my chest. So, if you made it here, comment with, "Glad I could help your chest, Marie." Don't do that. Say something else. Get clever. But let me know that you made it here because of the clever thing you said. I don't know. It's late. Let's go to bed. Good night. Whoa, Super Grover takes off.